Hello and welcome to a special edition of the SOS show with James Lott Jr. It's my 5-year anniversary. Five.
Yay!
I haven't been 5 in anything in a long time, so I will take that. I'm 5 years old. Thank you. I am James Lott Jr., the super organizer, and I am so happy to be here with you guys today. I know there's a lot going on in the world right now and in America. I acknowledge it, of course, but here you're going to get a chance to just have a little time away from it for a little bit and talk about me. Just kidding. Talk about what's going on and these wonderful ladies that are on here with us today. So each of these ladies have been on my show before. So I'm not going to tell you their individual bios. You can look at those shows and watch those just to know that they're amazing. But they have something in common. They are wonderful women. They are strong leaders. And they were all presidents of the National Association of Productivity and Organizers. They were and are and were. And I'm so happy to have them all on my anniversary show. Ellen Delap, Susie Hayman, and Ellen Faye. Hi, ladies.
Hey, James.
Hi.
Welcome to the show. I'm actually going to always start my show off with thanks and gratitude. So that's what I do every single show. And someone asked me, how did you come up with this? Well, I'm a producer in television and stuff. So I always say some shows should have a signature thing they do. One of my shows, I did a thing called 2 words at the end, where I asked people specific questions about 2 different words. And so on this show, I always give thanks and gratitude in my regular life. It's just something that I do all the time. Meditate in the morning, I pray, all this stuff. So I said, I'm going to give thanks and gratitude because I actually have a show. And at this time it was on radio, and radio was my #1 love. I wanted to be on radio so bad. I had this voice. I was ready to be on radio. And I was like, okay, I'm gonna do this every time. So that's where it came up with. So my thanks and gratitude is to all of you out there who have watched, have listened, have shared, have told people about my show. Because this show has brought me so many opportunities I couldn't even begin to properly thank for people for doing the show. And I want to thank Adrenaline Radio for giving me my start. And I don't take it for granted that people have a lot of choices out there. And you choose to watch and listen to my program with my guests that give me their time and their wisdom and their stories and their fun. I don't take that for granted. You find my show is worth some kind of notice. I also like to thank my ancestry for all the things they fought for so that I could have a show because of who I am and not because of my coloring or my sexual orientation or my age. I started late in the business, and as some people think, and I am very mindful of the blessing that I have just doing this once a week for an hour. And I want to thank anybody who's downloaded the show, anybody who has told people about it. I want to thank the publications who have covered the show, like Forbes Magazine. I want to thank Michaels for their partnership with me. I want to thank the students who have come to my workshops. I want to thank AfterBuzz TV, my other home, for helping me create a show based on my organizing. I just, I don't take any of this for granted. And I know when I was sick, you guys came back. You waited for me. You came back. When my brother died, you guys were there for me. When my dog died, you were there for me. I just think this is I love our community. I love the organizing community. And I want to thank NAPO for coming on board with this show, especially with Miss amazing Ellen Faye and I had that talk, and it turned the tide. And Susie and Ellen both continued that with me and worked with me and find my show worthy of some kind of collaboration and collaborative note. And I don't take it for granted. I just really don't, because I love organizing. I love people in it, and we're affecting change in the world with each person. So thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for the 5 years, 300 episodes, and everything that's gone on with the show. I just wanted to say that. So excuse me. I'm gonna get that out.
Thank you, James.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. I just think that we should always give thanks and gratitude in our lives. There are
Truly.
things that happen, but also sometimes out of crisis, beauty is born. Make sure I say that. So, there's that. Got that out. Ladies, first I'm going to ask you, how is everyone doing? And you can start with you, Ellen. Delap, you tell me how you're doing. We'll go that way.
Doing good. This is a very different time, and it's just really compelling that we all are respectful, and in our community, we have been weathering the storm. So thank you for asking.
Yeah. Susie, how are you guys doing over there in Virginia?
We're doing well. We are in, I guess, phase one still of trying to open up.
Yeah.
One of the things that my husband and I did last night, we went out and ate on a patio.
Wow.
Restaurant. They've opened up just the outdoor patios with social distancing and masks are mandated here in our state right now. So
obviously we didn't talk about this, but Ellen, Susie, and I are in some form of NAPO blue.
I saw
totally.
That. I saw that.
Have to be.
Like, NAPO, like we better wear blue. It's just
yeah.
So
Absolutely.
I have found this pandemic time to be such a blessing for me. I was just pushing and pushing for years and years. And after I got off the NAPO board, then I moved, and then I moved, and then I renovated a house and moved again. And boom, here I was like March 1st, ready to like launch, and then pandemic. So I'm doing great. I've been alone in my Florida condo since March 11th, and it's kind of weird, but I'm not lonely because I have this amazing network of friends. Basically, like to me, my gratitude is the NAPO network. They're not just work colleagues, they're my friends. So that's why I don't feel lonely. So it's given me time to think and to, grow and shift. I'm always evolving my business. So it gave me time to figure out what next steps are and write a little bit. So all good. Thank you.
Good. No, good. I know we talked a long time ago. You were like, you're ready to start doing some kind of reflection and your next steps. I remember you were like excited about that.
My whole life is that. I'm seeking.
I understand that. I totally do. I'm always doing stuff. So my first question to all of you, because it's my anniversary, and I've been in business 11 years. So this year is 11 years I've been an organizer. And I started a business because I always tell this story, but I've never really shown this. This book changed my life. This book, Julie Morgenstern's book, right? I found this. I mean, this is divine intervention. This is like God in work. I was like, what should I do with my life? And I wrote this whole thing out. And my Aunt Faith says, there's a business in there, James. Business. And then I find this book at a yard sale. This is the original book. I have it. I found this at the yard sale. And I read it and I go, I'm an organizer.
There you go.
I want Julie Morgenstern on my show. I still want her on my show. I haven't got her on my show. I still want her on my show after all these years. That's my dream. That's my dream guest, is Julie Morgenstern. So if you watch this Julie Morgenstern, I want you on my show. But I've seen the industry change just in 11 years. And so I want to ask each of you, how long you've been in the business? The question is, how long you've been in the business, and what is maybe a thing or two that you've seen change since you've been in the business? And we'll start with Ellen Faye first.
Oh, so I started in 2001, so we're at, 19 years now?
Wow.
And back in 2001, that was one of the only books there was on organizing. There were a handful, but that was like, that was the one I read, and then I was in business too. So,
I love it.
So what has changed is, technology has shifted everything. When I started, I launched a website, and that was just like different and new, and I could build a business from a website. Now we have such access to such information. Like NAPO was the only place to go for information. There wasn't NAPO education, there, but there was, that just coming together with the meetings. So now we have this tremendous access to information all over the place, blog posts and podcasts and books, but you just have to go to the best stuff, like your show and NAPO's podcast and NAPO's education, and those are the things that you have to separate the wheat from the shaft, because there's so much now.
Oh yes. Well, I'm going to ask you, building a website, was it hard back then? I'm trying to think. I mean, 2001. It probably wasn't that. Was it hard? Was it easy? I can't remember.
Well, I had somebody that worked for my husband. I hired him to help me, and he came over and we sat in my office and cobbled it together. And it was like he did a great job. There's still things 19 years later that he set me up for great success, and we stay in touch. So yeah, so I mean, I'm on I think my third website
Right.
since 2001,
Yeah.
but he gave me really good bones. So yeah, it's different.
Wow. Okay, that's very
It's
interesting.
simple. WordPress didn't exist, you know.
No, it didn't. No, I was saying that stuff existed. I think in 2001 I had a great iMac. It was all purple and it was all, you know, I had that. I mean, I was like, I didn't have a website back then. There was no MySpace or anything. There was nothing back then happening. Susie Hayman, so how long have you been in business and what have you seen change?
I have been in business for 18 years. I started in 2002. And as Ellen, technology has changed everything. What I always remember the most is how I used to get clients. And that was through the Yellow Pages. If you didn't have a Yellow Page ad, that was, people called you. That's how they found you. There were some other sites for professional organizers. I've forgotten the name of one of them, but they had leads. The NAPO site was not anywhere near what it is now. However, there was a lead generation process, and it went through an email process, and you'd get an email from NAPO saying, we have this potential client, you know, for you, and that kind of thing. But as Ellen said, the education wasn't there. Julie Morgenstern's book was the first book that I read on organizing also. I think just getting the way I got into the business just by doing a little research and finding out, as you all did, that it was a profession and that you could make money doing it. It's just very different in terms of not just the website and the social media and those kinds of things, but just how we got clients, how we work with clients, what we teach our clients. Everything was paper management then, and files, and you know, you'd come home with dry hands and whatever else from having your hands in paper all day. It was just very different.
Yeah, it's funny because you just triggered me with Yellow Pages, and I have a friend who works for the Yellow Pages, and I remember when they were getting thinner and thinner and thinner, and he was like, "We're switching over to online." I'm like, "You can't go online. We're gonna get my books every year," and all. It was so weird to me that Yellow Pages were kind of switching onto online. I remember getting those books, and you looked at the Yellow Pages. I knew the guy who started, Craig Newmar, who started Craigslist back then. I was in San Francisco when he started. It was just a local thing, yeah. And I remember I was like, "You're gonna go online and advertise yourself?" Like, I thought it was so weird. Like, it's so weird. Like, what is that? What is that? That won't really work, will it? I mean, no one's really online. And, you know, anyway, 20 years later, it's just so hearing that trigger, I'm like, I remember Yellow Page. I miss newspapers and Yellow Pages, kind of, that in the sense of them being the main source. I'm nostalgic for stuff like that. And Ellen Delap, so how long have you been in business and how have you seen it change?
I've been in business since 2000, and I'm actually going to talk about what hasn't changed.
I like
that is the trust relationship we all develop with our clients. And I am still working with the first client I had from 2000 in all different ways. They're in their 80s now, and you know, we worked on paper management. But what really it comes down to is that no like trust relationship, whether it comes from, you know, our social media, whether it comes from our website, whether it comes from a referral from another professional. So all these different things play into that really important relationship where we're developing. And of course, the credibility we have, and that trust is because of the credibility of NAPO, because we've taken those classes and we have professional practices coursework for our members. And so as a result, it's easier for our clients to trust us because they know we're well educated.
Yeah, so on almost kind of adjacent to this, it's because you mentioned you work with your first client. I'm friends with my first client. We've graduated. Oh, but he's giving me other clients since then. He's giving me other clients. He's giving one not too long ago. But I have clients now that are reaching 7 years, 6, 7 years.
Yeah.
We work off and on, like just things like life changes happen and they call me up and here I am. But this year I lost my first 2 clients. Actually they died.
Yeah.
So that was a very strange thing. You mentioned relationships. So if any of you have any kind of like experience with that, with a client passing or, just
Yeah.
like that, any experience with that, anyone can take the floor on this.
Hmm.
Any of you can
Yeah.
speak to that. Susie or
Well,
Go ahead, Al.
so, a lot of times their families rely on us because we know the inner workings of their lives. We know their passwords. We know how their paper management system is set up. But yeah, it's a grief process for all of us that have become so close to those clients.
yeah, Susie.
I had a client, and I guess it's probably been about 6 years ago when he died, who actually had been someone I had worked with in my past life in the nonprofit world. He was chair of the board of the foundation that I worked for. And I had actually kept in touch with him, over the years, and he knew what I was doing, and he called me, and of course he had bank statements from the 80s
Yeah.
or the 60s. I can't even remember. And we went through everything, and his wife, the first person she called when he died was me,
Yeah.
because she needed
Yeah.
to know where some things were. And that was hard. Because I had to go back into the space and so forth. And I helped her a little bit, and but it's tough. And of course, I have a client too, as many of you do, that I've had since 2004. And so I've seen her lose their family members, and that can be difficult too.
Yeah, Ellen, Faye, how do you navigate the personal and professional when it comes to stuff like, because we become we're kind of friends with them on some level because we're working.
Oh my gosh. So the intimacy of the relationships we build are so intimate. I mean, like, that's the word, right? So I have just given up trying to separate colleague and friend. And Jean Marie here, an organizer from Northern New Jersey, calls it what, frolics? We're frolics, friends and colleagues, and they're friends, friends and clients. So she's given them these names. So I have all my organizing clients are friends. I've been with them for 10, 15 years. And one of my clients, like, I know where everybody is buried in their house. Like they were on a trip and they lost something, and like she called me and she was overseas and I had to go to the house and dig it up and get it. And like they count on me and trust me. I am like a power of attorney for a older client who has no family. And so I think Ellen's word trust is so critical.
Yeah.
Because we just don't provide a service. We become a partner in their lives with them in a really special, unique way. It's very gratifying. Yeah.
I during this pandemic, I once a week check on my clients that I have.
Yes.
We talk on the phone.
Me too.
They miss me and I miss them, and I said, what's going on? Because my clients are all right now. I don't have as many clients as some because I do. I'm in Hollywood, do other stuff too. But I like having my hands in, or I love organizing. It's very zen to me. So I have about 6 or 7 clients that I work with, and they're all older. So virtual organizing is not going to work for them. They're like, no, we need you with me, and we want your energy in the house with us. And I understand that. So I have a good time just actually talking to them once a week. I have encouraged them to try a few things, and some have. And just like my kids, they'll call me up, James Lott. They always call me James Lott Jr. James Lott Jr. I went in my closet and I got rid of 4 pairs of shoes. I'm like, I'm so proud of you, girl. Good, thank you, good job. And so it's like we do. It is that I love it. Intimate. It's an intimate relationship that we have with our clients. And anybody who's watching and listening to this, who's an organizer and thinking about it, that's one of the benefits. We're not here to judge or tell you what to do or just do it for you. We're here to work with you and help you create change in your life. That's what we're here for. And it can be very satisfying on a personal and spiritual level too. I think it's a great thing. But you guys also bring up friendships. I brought this up. I interviewed Amy Tokus, the new president, and she'll be coming out. It'll be coming out next week. Now I talked about, for me, why I like NAPO. Sometimes, in some ways, the most is that the friendships. With you three especially, and with others, I've developed some really deep friendships with certain chapters, certain friends across the country. And I want you guys to speak to that too, though, that this is not just, some stiff, stuffy organization. It's like, pay your dues and that's it. Like, no, I can call on any three of you if I need you for something personal or professional, and you'll answer the phone. So any of you could take that first and start how you want to talk about how important that is. Any of you can go first. I can pick somebody and say,
I can go.
Ellen, you go
I because there are people with multi-person businesses and partnerships, but that's growing. That's part of the industry that's growing. However, still a majority of us are solopreneurs. And had I not had my NAPO friends, work colleagues that are become friends, I would have left this industry long ago.
Really? Okay.
Because while I have great relationships with my clients, they're still my clients. They're still my friends. But these women on the screen here, NAPO is so lucky that we've now had longevity of not only really highly competent leaders, but we all like each other. And the three of us and Amy coming in, that's going to be 4 terms of highly competent leadership. Talk about gratitude. But these are my friends too. So my NAPO friends are my friends in my life.
Yeah. Susie, how do you feel about that?
Ditto. I think especially the last few months during the pandemic, I have really seen the power of those relationships at NAPO. Not only through personal interaction, a lot of personal interaction. I can't tell you the number of phone calls, emails, texts, and so forth that I have received, not just, saying thank you for being supportive, saying things like, I don't know what I would do without NAPO. I don't know what I would do without my colleagues. The chapters are all sharing with the other chapters. They're opening up their programs to them, some of them free of charge, some of them very, minimal. I think just the power of these relationships and each of us being able to empower one another to keep going and, talk about how do you get the pandemic, unemployment assistance, how do you get the PPP loan? All of those things are helpful and important. How do you go back to work? How are you doing it? Yeah, it's different for everybody. I just the power of all that going on right now has really, really, really impressed me and almost surprised me in a lot of ways.
I feel like, a lot of us are in our little satellites. We're all we don't have that. We're not all in one big building going to work. So you don't have the water cooler. We all can stand around and talk about Melrose Place, and I'm aging myself. But it's like, we don't have that. We're all on our own doing our businesses. So I feel like that this community, this association, I've been part of many associations, some good, some not so good. That I feel like there is kind of this almost, it is like a colleagues. I can call you up, I can text you, I can message you, I can email you. And it can feel nice and cozy a little bit that I can actually come to you and say, Ellen, I need some help with this, or my girl Regina, like, Regina, I need you to talk to me about this. I just love that even though we're all solopreneurs or mompreneurs, whatever word you want to use, that it still feels like a group. It still feels like a group. Ellen, Delap, what do you think about that?
So we have structures in place that are really phenomenal supports. Like we have cultivated mastermind groups for our Golden Circle members. We have Member Connect and we have New to NAPO. So some of those structures are very valuable, but what the nitty gritty is when we all work together on our volunteer activities is when we really learn about what are your strengths, how can I help you? It's when we're developing all of those relationships, which is really a special part of NAPO. Is yes, we're here to help you. Each and every one of us is here to help everyone else succeed. And that's what's an amazing part of our National Association.
I'll tell you, when I go to my hometown of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, and I go back there, and I love, and congrats to Jill Yesko, my girl, who's a new president of the chapter. I love that whenever I go there, they let me speak if I'm there at a certain time. When they're chatting, they let me come and speak. They let this big mouth, person from Hollywood come in and talk about stuff. And I love it. And we go to dinner first, which my favorite place is Bob Evans. They always laugh at me. I'm like, I want to go to Bob Evans. I want my Bob Evans breakfast for dinner. And we don't have that in LA. But it's like family. Like I'm coming to speak. I'm going to a family event. Like we're talking about stuff that's important and it's organizing and productivity stuff, but it's like family. I get to see Patty Kramer, I get to see Sandra Lane, I get to see all my folks, I get to see everybody, Delap. I mean, I love all of that. I love seeing them. And they're so kind to me. And the Naples, Chicago got chapter of the year. I mean, I love those folks over there. But I talk to them all the time. Many of them have been on my shows. Many of them are guests on my shows. I mean, I love them. And of course, all my Texas folks coming down to the regional conference. I got to speak, and I had such a great time. And I had to finally meet Geraldine Thomas, which that was another how have we not met each other this whole time? I love all that because it feels very homey to me. It feels so, because I'm out here we're all on our own, just kind of in our trenches doing the work. So I love the kind of, and my first conference was Los Angeles. That was my first conference in 2015. So, and now it's coming back to Southern California. So I think it's full circle for me in my backyard. So I love the camaraderie and that there is no competition. I want us all to, you guys have been saying this in some of your answers. I want to reiterate that. There's no competition. There's plenty of work to go around. Mm-hmm. I always say that. In America, there is plenty of people who need our help. And everyone has vast niches. They have certain talents. I mean, and I don't mind sharing. It's like, if you're better at that than I am, I will make sure to go to you. I have no problem with that. Yes. In LA, where it's very big, I'm like, I don't go to the Valley, so I will call someone in the Valley with NAPO, and then they can do the Valley. I mean, it's like I will make sure I say that over and over again. There's no competition. We are all here to help. Should I say that? This June, I will have been a NAPO member 6 years. And I know why I joined NAPO. I wanted to join something that would give me gravitas. I love associations that are highly recommended and highly held. And that's the original reason why I joined it. And then I found other things why I'm there. But I want to ask you guys, how can we get new members? Tell us some reasons why folks should join. We mentioned some things, but some reasons why you should join NAPO. I'll start with Ellen and Faye. I'll start with you. Why should folks come in?
If you want a job, okay, go do a job. But if you want a career in a profession, you need to come and learn how to have a career in a profession. And you are trained as a professional at NAPO. I will turn it over to my colleagues to embellish.
I like that. Okay, whoever's next wants to take that. Because we need new members. You always need new members. We need people. We need fresh blood to come in and be able to help them. So, well, in Delap, what do you think?
So I am a huge advocate of membership because this trust factor, we're seeing it erode more and more. And who would you want in your home? You want a trained professional in your home. You want someone who's a business person in your home. And you want someone who has a code of ethics. And that's a big part of what NAPO stands for, is our code of ethics. So when I think about new members, I think I want to be with people who are successful already. So I want to, learn from them. I also want to be in an association because together we're better. And I think the training, you can't find any more exemplary training than what you have at NAPO.
And Susie, what do you think?
At a better price. I just got to add that.
At a better price.
Yeah, very affordable.
The best deal in town.
Yes.
I was thinking about back to when I first joined NAPO and when I realized it was a profession. I didn't think twice about joining. I said, okay, this is the profession. This is obviously the leader of the profession, the authority in the profession. This is where I need to go to learn. This is where I need to go to meet people, to network with my colleagues. And so that's the same. That's one thing that hasn't changed.
Right.
I think. So, you know, joining NAPO is an association that really stands for and has brought us as professional organizers and productivity consultants together over the years. And that's the place we need to be to learn from each other. As Ellen said, mastermind groups, special interest groups, chapters, all of those things give back to us and help us work with our clients. So to me, it's like a no-brainer.
Yes, I love it. I love it, and I agree with all that. Now I'm going to ask a kind of maybe a tough question, and it's not necessarily NAPO itself, but it could be our industry. What is something that could be improved in our industry in your eyes? I have a few ideas, but I was very curious to see what you three think about that. It could be one thing, couple things. But I love honesty, and I just want to know what do you think could be improved? Whoever can go first, it's fine. We have something.
I got one thing. Okay.
Yeah.
And this goes for not just NAPO, but our profession as a whole. I think, you know, public awareness of our profession and what we do is always key. And we always hear that it's difficult to sometimes articulate that or show that. And I think the perception that professional organizing or productivity is having everything in a neat little, tidy little box or bin or container is what we do. And we've all said that we do so much more than that. And the trust, the relationship we have with our clients, the ability to get inside their head sometimes and for them to get inside of our heads. I think the bottom line is that we change lives.
Yeah.
Whether it's a personal life, a professional life, or we change those lives.
I agree with that completely.
And it's not about the neat little boxes or the typing or anything like that.
I agree. It's not about the stuff. It's more. I tell people all the time, when I show up to your house, it's not just about me touching your stuff and putting it in a cute place. It's much more than that. Much more than that. You're paying for our experience, paying for my experience of 51 years on the earth and all the different jobs that I had and how I'm using some of those things, those different jobs, to this job, from all the previous clients I had, to just life stuff, what I do at home, you know, what I try at home, and what I read and what I go to school for. I mean, you're paying for everything when I show up to your door, not just, I'm going to put this in the drawer and roll your shirt. I mean, it's much bigger than that.
Mm-hmm.
Who's next? Of the Ellens.
So I think one of the hardest things for people is not only the public awareness about this, but it's just asking for help and knowing that it's so easy to access the kind of help you need. And I think that's a pervasive part of society right now, not just our association, but every association, is just having us at your fingertips so that you know we're here waiting for you. We're here to help you.
Ellen, Faye, what do you think could be improved?
Well, you know, it's a double-edged sword. You don't want regulation, but I do think that, you know, what you were guys saying about making things look pretty. I had a woman contact me once, and she was like, well, I'd like to work for you. And well, I was in retail and I know how to fold and I can make sweaters look really fabulous. And that was what she thought it was folding sweaters and making them look fabulous. And it's so much more than that. But there are a lot of people out there calling themselves organizers who just like to make pretty piles and fold. And I'm thinking that we need to raise the bar and really clarify between the professional and the sweater folder.
I 1,000% agree with that, because I am the organizer that a lot of people know in Hollywood, because I'm in Hollywood and I talk about it all the time. I'm kind of the go-to person they kind of know at first. And I know you guys know. I'll get okay. So you just do closets, right? And you just kind of like, you know, put shoes together. I'm like,
Yeah.
yeah, I can do that, but it's much more. And then when Marie Kondo came out, and no shade to her, even though I did give her shade on camera, I just said we are bigger than that. So that's one person's perspective on it. And for me, what I want to see happen is show the diversity in our industry. People need to know exactly the different kinds of things that we offer. I think that's the aware. You all mentioned awareness, which I agree with you completely on that, and that's part of the awareness. It's like we help. It's not just TVC hoarders, and it's not just being cute and tidy. There's a lot of things in between. And that's and I kind of want people to know this. People are like, oh, they can do that. You can do that. I'm like, yeah, that's people who do this. And do that. Like, I want more awareness. And with me doing the show, I've tried to bring on guests who, from all walks of our industry, talk about stuff, because I feel like that's number one, because people they just don't know. I want more awareness of this industry. I do. I love this profession. I just think it should be up there with doctors and lawyers and plumbers and electricians and all the ones that get attention. We should be getting major attention. That's something that my crusade by doing the show and other things that I do. I will continue to do that.
And we're so grateful for you to do that, James, because that is often where, people watching TV, like when the Netflix series came out with Marie Kondo, oh man, did that make a huge difference for everyone. So thank you for being that person that's being out there for us.
No, it's my pleasure.
It's not just a difference for our profession. And when those little things happen on TV, we get spikes in our business, which is great, and we're all grateful for that. However, what Susie and Ellen both mentioned, and I think you too, James, about this changing lives, this is helping. I call it a quality of life issue.
Yeah.
So if there is a way that the people out there that are struggling, we have so many challenges right now, and the stress, and actually one of the absolute things you can do to manage stress is to bring order to your life. It's proven, it's scientific, but people don't have the skills. And I tell my clients, I tell people on the phone all the time. Now we have Zoom all the time. But you wouldn't expect yourself to be able to sit down at a piano and play a piano without somebody teaching you. And yet they expect themselves to know how to organize or be productive, even in the workplace, at home, without having any skills training whatsoever. So by us coming in and teaching them and showing them and empowering them and helping them build their confidence, we are changing their lives. We are making their lives better.
Like
I'm
that.
just a little passionate.
Just a little bit. But no, I agree. It seems like, Susie, you're kind of agreeing with her. I see you're nodding and you're agreeing with her.
I think the passion and the change that we can make in somebody's life. Yes, sometimes we're able to transfer skills and other times we're not able to transfer skills. However, if we can do one small thing to help someone do one piece of their life better, it's all worth it. And it kind of amazes me that productivity covers it all, or specifically time management covers it all.
It does. And I always say this too. I didn't make it up, but I heard this from somebody and I just agree that basically we're one of the few professions, you guys can tell me if there's another one, we're one of the few professions that from small child to old man can use our services.
Yeah.
I challenge anybody to tell me any other service that really covers that range. I would say from 2 to 200, when nobody's 200 years old, but you get what I'm saying. I feel like this is one of the few professions that there's something that could be, our services, however they are, can be used for that broad spectrum.
Absolutely.
Very, very important to people to realize that with your profession. As we start to wrap this up a little bit, now it's your turn to say something nice to me, if you so choose. If you want to, I'm just curious because I've talked to you separately, personally and professionally on the show, and personally also. You guys have all been great to me, and I thank you. I bow to you, ladies. Thank you very much. I said my queens. I said on our chat. So why me and my show? I mean, how do you guys view me in the industry? I mean, I hear things here and there, but I don't really know what people think about me sometimes. So anybody can go first and do that.
I think you make it really easy, James. Your energy, it makes it easy. It makes it happen. It feels real. Whether it's doing it face to face on Zoom or whether it's doing it on the phone, it's real. It's real. It's genuine. It's fun.
Fun. That's the word.
There's no, there's no hotty toddy, teacup kind of thing. I can be honest. I can be transparent. I can be myself.
Our last interview was
I can have an opinion.
Yeah, you can have an opinion. You can. Our last interview was really good, Susie. It was really good. I want to tell you that. Any LNs?
I love your diversity, James. I mean, you have your fingers in so many pies, but you're such a collaborator. I mean, all these ways you pull people into, it's especially fun. I think Susie said that right. I mean, this is so joyful for us to be with you here today and to hit this milestone with you. But what you do is you energize people and you help them understand this doesn't have to be complicated. This can be fun. And in so many ways, I just love having you pop up on my social media because I'm like, oh, there's James again. And you're so innovative. I mean, you and I last week talked about lefties and twins. And I mean, you're you're a connector. That's who you are. So thank you for being that.
That's my hope that I can be. Miss Ellen Faye, the one who started it all for me, my girl started it all for me.
Thank you. Well, when you have to so James reached out to all of us and said, do you want to do the show? And I'm sure I hesitated, he had a yes back in his inbox in 30 seconds because I didn't say no to everything because you are such a wonderful representative of our profession. Yeah. You show us in such a beautiful light and you are fun. There's no pretense. It's just, this is who we are. This is so real. And you are real. You're the real deal, James. And it's an honor and privilege to support you and to help you find success the way you want to be successful. And you're an advocate of the profession. You're an advocate of NAPO. Yeah. So I think you're a real hero.
Oh my God, you made me cry again. Thank you. Thank you. And I just want to say, Ellen, because you and I had the first talks, and Ellen said to me on the phone, "Why aren't we using you? Why are we working with you? What's going on?" And I think that made a difference for me. And then with Ellen Delap, we hit it off right away, and Susie, you and I hit it off right away also. I mean, we hit it off right away. So great leadership right here, and great human beings right in this Zoom meeting. So thank you, ladies. I start dancing now. I'm ready. That's our show. That's my 5 years. Thank you, ladies, for joining the show.
Now you're golden circle.
Yeah.
I guess
something new to add.
Something new to add. Thank you. Yes, exactly. Thank you. And I love NAPO. I just love it. And I'm going to submit for the conference next year. So I'm going to submit. Yes. It's right here in my bag. It's right here in my bag. And I'm going to do something like this. Talk about what my wheelhouse, which is podcasting and media. So I think I'm going to do that. So I'll just let you guys know. I'm going to submit something. Now, I would give everybody a chance to tell what you want to share with you and your social media or your website. So we'll start with Ellen Delap. You go ahead and tell people where they can find you.
I am all over social media because I completely love it. My business is professional-organizer.com, but I'm on Instagram and Pinterest and Facebook, LinkedIn, and I just love connecting. So follow, share.
I just still can't believe you have professional.organizer. How did you get that? That's crazy. You have that.
See, if you do that for 20 years, you can get what you want.
I love it. I mean, it's just I thought getting super organizer was a gem. I'm like, that is.
Yeah, that's a really good one. So
I looked out. I looked it up and no one had it. I was like, that was 11 years ago. I took it and make sure I copyrighted everything. Miss Susie Hayman, where can they find you?
I am on Facebook and LinkedIn. I'm getting ready to get on Instagram. I need to do that. Okay. I need to do that. I am at inyourbusiness.com, spelled biznes.com.
I love that. I love that. Business. I love it. Love it.
And I'm at NAPO a lot.
NAPO.net, folks. NAPO.net. And then Miss Ellen Faye, where can they find you on the interweb?
So I'm on Facebook, and I'm on LinkedIn and Instagram and Twitter, but you have to interact with them to make it really, really useful. Ellen Delap is so good at that.
Yeah. She's like,
I'm not as good at that, but I've really moved my business. It's getting clear now that I am a business coach with a productivity and leadership perspective.
Yeah.
So, and I love working with entrepreneurs. And that's, really what I do. And so if that's something of interest to you, go to www.ellenfaye, ELLENFAYE, starts with an E and ends with an E.com, and book a free consult with me, and we'll chit chat and see if we're a match. So I'd love to coach you. All of you.
Yes, all of you there, all of you. These are great people. So, hire them, talk to them, see what's going on. And you can find me where all James Lott Juniors are sold, at James Lott Jr. and all social media platforms, literally even on TikTok, folks. I have an organizing series on TikTok called How to Get Super Organized in Under a Minute. Speaking of trying something different, I said, I'm not gonna do dancing videos. I'm talking about organizing in under a minute. So check me out there. And of course, I have my Christmas organizing show, which is year round. You can actually check it out. It's on the Christmas 24/7 channel. And it's called the Super Organizer Christmas Show. And one episode I dress like a taco, one episode I dress like a Santa, and I give you organizing tips. So go ahead and with some fun, you can watch that and see what's going on there. And of course, my channel is JLJ Media on YouTube. Be kind and subscribe. I think it's down here somewhere, or it's over here somewhere, or it's that away. Oh, it's somewhere. But somewhere here, like, subscribe, comment, share this video with anyone you think needs to hear this and see this. I want to give thanks to NAPO, of course, for letting me share these on the pages that I do, and they support me in that. And of course, the audio versions on every streaming service you can think of, from iHeartRadio. I started on one channel. I started from scratch, people, from scratch. And now it's international on iHeartRadio, Spotify, Pandora, Deezer, Apple, Google. It's everywhere. I'm very proud of that. I worked very hard to get that. So please follow and subscribe there too. Everyone, please, please, please stay safe and sane during this difficult time. And if you're at home or you have a home office, maybe try to get organized while you got it. Thanks.